geared towards, if you finished your BSc in economics, everyone was either studying for ISI, Indian Statistical Unit, or like institute, or one of the MBA institutions like ZAT, CAT, name it, like all of them. All of those entrance exams were being written by a lot of my batchmates. And I went straight to, you know what, I want to work at a company, make some money. I don't want to take more money from my parents. I just want to work at some place and then fund if I want to study. So I went to my dad and I was like, hey, I just want to work. And in 1 year, I'm pretty sure I will write the entrance for MBA and I'll have the money to like go through coaching, because guess what? None of these things make it so easy that you can, if you work hard, you can write your exam and get through. If you, work more, not that you work hard, but you work very hard, very determined, very dedicated. But then there's so many other sub teaching groups and courses that you have to take before you even write your entrance exam. And I didn't really want my folks to pay so much money again. So I joined Google, heard from them after like some around 6 months, multiple interviews, and moved from Calcutta to Hyderabad for the first time. I had never even worked at, I never even lived with anybody else other than my parents. So a lot of, that early stages of, okay, entry level role, it's an extension from college in some ways, because many people from around the country are all joining right after college to review ads, like those ads that you see on Google search. Back then, people used to manually review them before automation kicked in for the most part. And so reviewing ads was all that we did. Like, look at the ad, look at the landing page. They're talking about cats. Are they selling dog, like dog products? Okay, that's bad, wrong product. Like, take your decision. Is it approved? Is it not approved to run? If they're not approved, if they're approved, that adds to the revenue, right? Like opportunity to show up on the search results, be clicked or viewed. So very important, but also very initial, like a very junior role. So starting out from there. And how, back then, all of it was around hundreds of folks doing the same thing. And one of the things that I wanted to do then was, what are the other areas? Because if you keep doing the same thing, of course, there are thousands of people who are approving ads around the world. Many of them are in India, many of them are in other countries. And what else can you do? Because I was always for this, I get things fairly quickly. Now what? Like, what do I do with that? And where do I go? And how do I also try and work on something that can also show my own impact? And my impact is not necessarily like, okay, this one day I came and I did 20,000 ads. Then you'll have to sit and come and keep doing 20,000 ads. I would rather go and figure out how to automate those ads. Why would, like, if the ads have the same kind of characteristics, then what would that be? So I started looking for other opportunities within the company. And there was this team that was just starting, hiring for the second batch of people. It was this team called Adsense, which is not advertisers, but advertisements have to go onto different places, one of them being the content network. And so publisher side of things, so advertisers and publishers. So I moved into the publisher facing business and was working on that from different roles. I think I've done everything except for like coding and maybe payments. So, and especially in a market like India, you don multiple hats. So you don't just do one thing, you do a few other things. Again, goes back to that adaptability, flexibility, ease of moving. No challenge is too crazy, but every challenge sounds like crazy. So it's always this, you have extremes of different things being thrown at you. So kind of learn how to be patient or even react. You learn how to manage your own reactions over time, which took me some time, pretty much. I mean, growing and evolving with everybody. So yeah, like getting into cracking that Google interview, I wasn't thinking about, back then I wanted a job and I wanted something that was interesting that not many people were really doing in my batch. And at the same time, in the role, I looked for opportunities to, kind of what else could I be doing to make more impact or make visible impact, as well as just move the needle for that business and be able to move the needle. So that was most of, what directed and motivated a lot of the changes I made in my roles there, but also stay with an organization, grow from within when things, and that's the beauty of Google. Like at some point, there are so many teams, so many opportunities that when you are looking for a role or a new opportunity or a new challenge, there is something within Google itself. So that from 1 year that I told my parents that I was going to come back and do MBA went on to 3, 5, 50, like 13. And I could have, I mean, honestly, if there were more opportunities that I thought were more interesting that I wanted to solve at that point, I would probably have stayed on as well.
Retired there.
At
Maybe.
the same, I mean, there were so many things to do. Like if I go on to each one of them, it'll just probably take 10 podcasts. So I will leave it to a book someday. But at the end of the day, like
You've not thought.
everything was extremely rewarding, extremely um, like had its own challenges and things I've learned along the way that made me question some of my own beliefs sometimes, my values, and how much I wanted to like work on certain things, how much how much effort you put in.